Now we'll move on to the topic factors affecting demand, or you can say determinants of demand. Now determinants of demand is divided in two parts. First is individual demand, that is factors affecting individual demand, or you can say determinants of individual demand. Then another is factors affecting market demand, or you can say determinants of market demand. So first in a row is factors affecting individual demand. Okay. First is price of the commodity. Now what does it mean? Normally there is an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded of a commodity. Do remember, as per law, it states what we have studied: when price increases, demand decreases. Fine. And when price decreases, demand increases. So what is the relationship? Inverse, opposite relationship it has. Okay, so it implies that lower the price of the commodity, higher is the quantity demanded, and vice versa. Okay, next is income of the consumer. Now what do you mean by income of the consumer? That means the purchasing power which you have. That means the pocket which you have in the money which you have in your pocket. Generally, there is direct relationship between the income of the consumer and his demand for product. Now, why there is a direct relationship? Suppose if your income increases, no doubt what you will do? You will go for more purchasing. Your demand will increase. So what is the relationship? Direct relationship. But we will understand this with three different types of goods. Now first is normal goods. Now in case of normal goods, what happened? Normal goods means which goods? Clothes, refrigerators, simple, right? So what happened? If your income increases, no doubt your demand will also increase. Okay, in case of normal goods. Now inferior goods. What do you mean by inferior goods? Inferior goods means low quality goods. Now in case if your income increases, what you will do? What will be the system? See, it is said that when your income increases, the demand for any of the commodity will increase. That is what it is. But no, here it won't be there. Why? Because your demand for inferior goods will decrease. Why? Now you have good purchasing power. So what you will do? You will shift on to the superior quality goods. So in case of inferior goods, what happen? Your demand for goods will decrease if your income increases. So it has an inverse relationship. Okay, then next is inexpensive necessity of life. Now what do you mean by inexpensive necessities of life? That means necessary goods. Okay, now necessary goods, if your income increases, will it be affected? No, it won't be affected. Suppose you are having salt, one packet of salt, right? Now all of a sudden your income increases, what you will do? You will take 5 packets of salt? No, not possible. Why? It is necessity of life. It is fixed. It can't change with the income. Fine. So that is, these are the three kinds of good through which we can understand the income of the consumer relationship. Now next is consumers' taste and preference. Now what do you mean by consumers' taste and preference? Now when your taste change, right? Your taste and preference all depends on what? Your customs, your traditions, which you follow, your habits, right? So generally people lifestyle must be like, if I am used to wearing salwar kurta, so what I will do, I will prefer that kind of cloth only. If I am used to wearing westerns, so I will prefer that kind of, that is my taste and preference. So what I will do, I will purchase that kind of goods. Fine. So it depends. And suppose all of a sudden my taste changes, so what will happen? I will prefer the goods accordingly. So that is consumers' taste and preference. Okay, now demand changes as per the taste and preference of the consumer. Fine. Next is price of related goods. Now what do you mean by related goods? Substitute goods. Okay, now that is what, when we say price of related goods, that means one commodity is related to another one. Fine. Now we will understand this in two different types. First is substitute goods. Now what do you mean by substitute goods? Now suppose if one good I am consuming, it has a substitute. Suppose I am consuming tea, okay, and it is has a substitute coffee. Suppose the price of tea increases. Fine. So what I will do? I will leave tea. I will prefer coffee. Why? Because the price of related goods has increased. Okay, so once the price of related goods increase, what I will do? I will prefer the other goods whose price is less. I will substitute it. Fine. So that is substitute goods. Next is complementary goods. Now what do you mean by complementary goods? That means the one which comes together. Like car cannot run without petrol. Fine. Pen, if you are demanding for pen, it needs a refill after a while. So that is complementary, means it comes in combination with that. Now what happens? Suppose if the price of pen increases, what will happen to the refill? Now it is complementary, that means combined demand. Fine. So if one price increases, another ka demand will also decrease. Why? Because the law says when the price increases, demand decreases. So when the price of pen increases, what will happen to the demand? Demand will decrease, right? So refill is the complementary of pen. That means it comes together. So what will happen? Equally the demand for refill will also decrease, like car and petrol. Fine. So petrol ka price increases, what will happen? Even to certain extent, car ka demand will also decrease. Okay. So that is price of related goods we have understood through two types of different goods. Okay. Now one, you have to understand that complementary goods are also known as cross demand. Okay. So this is a note which you have to understand. Next is consumers' expectation. Now sometimes price depends upon the expectations of the consumer. Suppose consumer expect that in future the price is going to increase. Now the best example is lockdown. Right. Now if the consumer expect that tomorrow probably I may not get the goods in case of emergency, right? I may not get the goods, or the price may increase. So what I will do? I will prefer to stock it. I will prefer to buy more and more out of it, right? So it is all of the expectation of the consumers. Okay. Then next is consumers' credit facilities. Now what do you mean by credit facilities? Credit facilities means the facility of getting credit. You can say udhar. Okay. Now previously you know very well we have so many commodities available. Fine. But then people were not buying it very frequently or very easily. Why? Because they have to pay complete amount at once. Right. Now what you have EMI facility. EMI facility means installment facilities. When you have a EMI facility, installment facility, so what happened? It is very easy to make payment in installment. You get credit facilities. So what will happen? Purchasing power will increase. Okay. So that is how it all depends. Now next is determinants of market demand. Now what are the determinants of market demand? First is population. See, market means what? Total number of consumers. More and more consumers, more and more demand. So no doubt more consumer means what? Population. Fine. So that is what? Increase in population increases the demand, or vice versa. If population is less, demand will be less. Next is season and weather. Now what do you mean by season and weather? You all know, suppose if the season is high, okay, so what will happen? Season and weather condition, they have a good effect. Suppose if woolen cloth ka season is right, so it is that time. So what is the condition of woolen goods? No doubt it is more in demand. Now it is summer season. Will you be going and purchasing any of the woolen goods? No. So season and weather also affects the demand of the commodity. Now next is government policy. Now what do you mean by government policy? Government policy means the rules and regulations which is being declared by the government time to time. Now what happened? It also affects the demand. How? It will reduce what? Demand. Why? Suppose if they have introduced a policy which increases the price of the commodity. So once the price will increase, what will be the effect on the commodity? The demand will decrease. Or suppose government has given subsidies. Subsidies means some concession for the goods. So if they have given concession or consideration, what will happen? The price of the commodity will decrease. Now once the price of the commodity will decrease, the demand will increase. So sometimes government policy also affects the demand of the commodity. Now next is state of business. Now what do you mean by state of business? Sometimes the prevailing business condition, that means the current business situation also affects the demand. Suppose business is in good condition, country is in good condition, booming stage, good business is going on. So what will happen? Everyone will have good purchasing power, good money, good employment. So no doubt demand will be more. And if a country is facing depression means low business, not a good business. So what will happen? Less employment opportunity, less purchasing power. So what will happen? With that, there will be less demand. Fine. So that is what state of business means. Now next is distribution of income. You all know very well, distribution of income in our country is so disturbed. Somebody is with good income, good money, good wealth, and somebody is very poor. So no doubt it also affects. Now the one who is very rich, they can purchase good amount of goods or any kind of goods, and the one who is poor, what they will do, they will first see to it that their necessity goods are being purchased, their necessity demands are being first fulfilled. So distribution of income affects the demand of the consumers. Now next we will understand law of demand. Now what law of demand states? Do remember, whenever law is asked, what you will do? First you will write statement of the law, then you will write assumptions, then you will write schedule, then you will give graph. Okay, so this is what the system goes with. Now what is the law of demand? The law of demand states that other things remaining equal. Do remember, this word is very important. This statement. What is that? That other things remaining equal, the quantity demanded of a commodity increases when its price falls, and vice versa. Okay, so what that means, that everything is constant. What is constant? Income is constant, then preference, taste, size of the population, distribution of income. So far whatever determinants we have studied, all determinants are constant apart from price. What is changing? Only price is changing. Okay, so when there is increase in price, demand decreases. When there is decrease in price, demand increases. This is what law of demand. Now what is the assumption? Assumption means, see, in economics it's very important that there should be assumption, because without assumption our law will not work out. So the law of demand assumes that other things to remain constant. That is what we have studied. All the determinants are constant. Okay, so that is assumptions of ceteris paribus. What do you mean by ceteris paribus? Ceteris paribus means other things remaining constant, only price is changing. Okay, so that is what ceteris paribus order is. Now what are the assumptions? There should be no change in income, no change in taste and preference, no change in price of related goods, no change in size of the population, no change in distribution of income, etc. Now why I mentioned etc? Because there are so many determinants. Everything is being assumed to be constant. That means they are not changing. What is changing? Only price is changing. Now what we will check out, that's what I said, after assumption we will check out schedule. You can check out the schedule over here under the heading explanation of the law. Down you can see the schedule, simple schedule is there which is stating price, and with that price how demand is changing. Now you can see at price 10 what is the demand? 2. At price 8 is what? Price has reduced. So no doubt what will happen? Demand will increase. So this is what complete schedule is showing. When the price is decreasing, demand is increasing slowly and steadily. Now next in the row is diagrammatic explanation. First and foremost we will explain the complete graph. See what we will explain first. We will explain quantity demanded is measured on the x-axis. You can see the graph there. What is being mentioned on x-axis? It is quantity demanded. And what is being mentioned on y-axis? That is the measured, that is price of the y-axis. Fine. So quantity is mentioned on x-axis, price is mentioned on y-axis. That will be our first point. Now next is what? DD. See the demand curve which is sloping downwards. DD is mentioned. That is what? DD states what? DD is the demand curve. Fine. Now third is DD curve slopes downwards from left to right, indicating inverse relationship between price and demand. That is what we have studied about the law. What we have studied? That there is an inverse relationship. When price increases, demand decreases, and when price decreases, demand increases. So downward sloping shows what? Inverse relationship. That we will mention. Fine. Next is when price rises from 8 to 10. This is the explanation of the diagram which is being given. See, when the prices rose from 8 rupees to 10 rupees, what has happened? Demand has decreased from 6 units to 4 units. And when price falls from 8 to 6 rupees, once you will explain increase, another you will explain decrease with examples. This is the explanation of the diagram which you have given in fourth point. Okay. Then fifth point is downward slope of demand curve is an expression of law of demand. So that is what we always say, that what is the law of demand? When price increases, demand decreases. When price decreases, demand increases. This is what? Expression of the law. So that is what it says. The downward slopes, the demand when it is falling downwards, that is the expression of the law. So this is how you will draw a diagram and give the complete explanation about the diagram in different points. Okay.